I don't know if there's a screen that everyone can see this with, but this is Yossi's eggplant dip. And really, this plate looks much nicer than this. Okay. As you can see, this eggplant is almost ready. You would turn it like this and keep turning and turning it, and that would be it. Okay. Thank you.
Dan, could you pass some samplings of the instrument?
Okay, yes. Danny and Sam, Penina's daughter and son, are going to pass around some eggplant dip samples for you to taste.
Family and affair.
Okay, 1 minute.
I show the camera. Okay.
Oh, sorry, the camera. What? Okay, sorry, I can't. Is that the camera there? You can see we're not good at this. Okay, Sam, turn to the next. No. Oh,
Wow,
yeah, Sam. Sorry, this screen was meant to be the remaining eggplant dip out of the book.
While you're sampling Yossi's dish, I'll just read you a little excerpt or snippet that goes, the story that goes with the dish. The title of the story is called The Alchemist in the Kitchen. Mama was born in Kelerish, a small town on the border of Bulgaria and Romania, the youngest of 4 daughters. Her name was Stella. In 1951, my parents migrated to Israel from Romania. They felt very fortunate, for they had survived the war and were now living amongst Jews in a democracy. Mama, a true Zionist, loved Israel. These early days of the emerging state, also known as the Tsena, were years of economic hardship and shortages where people lived on food rations. But in a short time, the arid desert flowered into orchards and fields, yielding an abundance of biblical proportion. Israel indeed became the land of milk and honey, just as the spies had reported back to Moses in Sinai. What wouldn't I give to taste her treats once again? There was one we ate daily, and sometimes even twice a day. Eggplant salad, Romanian style. This was the signature dish of the house, and a meal wasn't a meal without it. Mama would carefully choose the eggplants, selecting the soft ones rather than the perky simmering ones. My job was to pierce the eggplants with a fork to prevent them from exploding when we cooked them. Mama would place 2 eggplants on top of each gas burner and turn them from side to side, bottom and top, until their skins burnt and their bodies collapsed, oozing their oily juices. The flames gave the distinct smell and taste. The eggplants would then be washed under cold water, meticulously peeled to separate the burnt skin from the opaque yellowish brown flesh. The vegetable was placed in a colander to rest, cool, and drain off the bitterness. After being placed in a blender on the slowest speed, Mama would gradually add the oil and salt. The transformation was miraculous. The dark, yellowish bulk of eggplant flesh would turn white and bright, perfectly smooth and appetizing to look at. Perfection. Mama was a true alchemist.
All right, our next recipe is Granny B's legendary pickles. It was given to us by Joanne Fedler. You met Jo, who introduced us just before. She's sitting down below there. Jo was, great the whole way through. As she said, she wondered whether we'd just gone into the Neverland, and she emailed us once a year religiously and said, "How's this book coming along? Is it still going?" Anyway, as you can see, it came. This particular recipe comes from Jo's grandmother's handwritten recipe book. You can see her handwriting up on the screen. We scanned it. It's beautiful. We've all got such wonderful, treasured handwritten books. I've got several. I'm sure many of you have. How many of you got something from your grandmother, your great-grandmother? You see, we've all got it. This is how recipes are handed down from generation to generation. But who knows in the future? It will all be done by the internet. There'll be no more handwritten treasures. Okay.
Well, a lot of you cringe about the work involved in making pickles, but actually it's pretty simple. We'll show you how. We've made a few in front in honour of Joe, and we've used the freshest ingredients, and the freshest ingredients are the vibrant ones, and I'll show you how to make it. As Judy's mentioned, we're going to use a small quantity for the demonstration. We've got a few chopped capsicum, cauliflower, well, just onions. You can actually layer them like we've done in these little tiny little bottles, or you can mix them together. Onions, the vinegar.
I don't know where ours is. And I'll get you some water. We haven't measured out.
The carrots.
A whole bag.
Don't worry. Pickles.
It's okay.
And that's it. And some capsicum. A bit of green capsicum. Like that. And to make the pickling spice, we actually using half that quantity, as we said. Not this much vinegar. We've got a cup of vinegar, cup of water, sorry. Cup of vinegar, oh gosh.
One of our bags with the measured quantities just walked away, as is a few other things, but we're going to improvise.
A cup of vinegar.
Splash.
Yeah. Sorry, Jude. And a bit of pickling spice. I've got some bay leaves. And I've mixed together 5 tablespoons of sugar. I've got salt, peppercorns, and coriander seeds, which are here. Let that boil. And while that's boiling, Judy will read Joe's story.
This story is gorgeous. It's Joe's story about her granny bee. It's called The Pickle Queen. The first time I ever tasted a pickle, I must have been about 4. I was sitting at my granny's dining room table. My granny, Berenice Verita Coombs, wore bed jackets, crocheted water bottle covers, and made hand-knitted booties with embroidered rosebuds for newborn babies. She always urged me to sip her whiskey and never forgot to give me pocket money. My granny was elegant and petite and didn't look like a marvellous chef. I always imagined them to be large and ruddy. She wore high heels even in the kitchen. But she was a wonderful cook. She made her own pickles in huge jars, chunky wedges of onions and cucumbers, cauliflower, carrots and peppers, the gaps filled with a vinegar made with peppercorns, bay leaves, coriander seeds and garlic, just like Penina's doing. I liked the cauliflower best for its squeaky crunchiness. I also loved to eat the cucumbers. I would suck out that soft inner ring of seeds and stick the cucumber on my finger like a ring. Then I'd nibble off the dark green skin and finally get to the crispy white flesh. My whole mouth would pucker, my cheeks would clench, and my taste buds sit upright as the combination of the sour vinegar, sweet sugar, and salty brine had their way with my mouth. My granny called me the Pickle Queen. Whenever I eat a pickle, I think of my granny bee, who was in truth herself the Pickle Queen. So I think Penina's mixture's almost ready. It's almost ready. But you know, us Jews, we're very good with jokes. I mean, even our book has got Chaim Topol's contribution as jokes, not a story. He's a really funny man. Although we see him on Fiddler on the Roof in quite a serious role, he's got the jokes that sort of come through in the play. And He's got some jokes in the book rather than the story, but, you know, Jewish people tell jokes all the time. And my family, my husband's sitting somewhere there, knows I'm one of the worst joke tellers. But here's one that you might find quite funny. Two pigs were talking, and one said to the other, "Wouldn't this be a great world if everyone was kosher?" Come on! Okay, I think we're almost ready. Okay. Well, in the meantime, you can see the little jars that we did prepare.
Okay, I think it's nearly boiling.
They're beautiful, aren't they? Really cute, colourful. And we've presented them like this because, you know, it's so nice to take something when you go visit a person for dinner. You know, people bring flowers, they bring chocolates, they bring all sorts of things. But sometimes to make something from your heart, and definitely something from a recipe and from someone's own family, is really, really special. You can place a ribbon around it, it looks gorgeous. In fact, Michelle Cranston, who is our food stylist, and many of you know her from the Marie Claire books and the Woman's Weekly, every year now for Christmas, she doesn't give gifts. She chooses one special recipe, and she makes little gift bottles up, little boxes, and puts a ribbon around it, and she says, "This is what I've made you. This is my love for you for Christmas." So we want to show you that it's a lovely way to make some of the recipes within the book.
Okay, Judith's ready.
Okay.
Just pour the pickling. What I spoil.
Oh, I should get the stuff next. And what do we do next? Next.
Just do this pickles.
What would you like?
This one first.
Okay.
Well, as you said, we've used a little bit more ingredients than we should have, but just scoop up the garlic and spices and seal for 2 days in the fridge, if it lasts that long. In my house, it wouldn't last that long. I kept tasting to see if they pickle. And that's it. We made those on Friday for you guys to taste, and voila, instant pickle. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Jamie.
Helena loves pickles. When we were in New York, she was in pickle heaven. There were pickles everywhere, endless sorts. They were sold by the gallon. They were sold in barrels. They were sold in little containers. New pickles, sour pickles, half sour pickles, half hot pickles. New hot pickles, 3/4 sour pickles. Endless. You know, New York is another world when it comes to food.
I did eat a gallon of pickles, actually. I really did.
No.
But I tried. It's fabulous.
Beg your pardon? Yes, it needs to be refrigerated for 2 days before you eat them.
And how long can you keep?